Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by NewOxfordReview.org, the voice of Catholic Orthodoxy, in print and on the web. And RenewAmerica.com, expanding the influence of America's grassroots in the cause of freedom.
And TheAmericanCatholic.com, politics and culture from a Catholic perspective.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of Catholic News Roundup. I'm Michael Voris. Pro-abortion Brazilians. The government of Brazil is pushing for the legalization of abortion throughout all of Latin America. Consensus of Brasilia, the title of the document containing the proposal, was signed at the conclusion of the 11th Regional Conference on the Women of Latin America and the Caribbean. Pro-life leaders criticized the title Consensus of Brasilia because in reality, they say, it represents no consensus except that of the organizations that promote abortion. The movement noted that most Brazilians, as well as most Latin Americans, are against the legalization of abortion. Challenging the status quo, according to LifeSite News, attorneys will appeal a federal court decision on behalf of student Julia Ward against Eastern Michigan University after it kicked out the Christian student for holding on to her beliefs about homosexual conduct. EMU dismissed Ward from its graduate counseling program in March of 2009 for not affirming homosexual behavior as morally acceptable. Ward would not agree to change her religious beliefs about homosexual behavior or express a message contrary to them during counseling sessions as a condition to receiving a degree. Catholics need higher college entrance scores. The University of California system has declared that students from religious high schools will have difficulty being admitted to UC schools, University of California School System schools, because those students will not be given credit for key courses such as biology, history, and literature when those courses are taught from a religious perspective. UC officials stated in court that they considered religious perspectives, such as the role of divine providence in history, to, in their words, narrow-minded. As a result, students from religious schools may be required to post higher test scores than their public school counterparts in order to be admitted to one of the 10 UC schools, which include UC Berkeley and UCLA. When the Ninth U.S. Circuit Court sided with the UC system, Catholic Education Associations appealed the case to the Supreme Court. We'll let you know if and when the High Court agrees to hear the case. Stay with us, back in just a few seconds.
Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by PewSitter.com, your online Catholic newspaper for the third millennium. CatholicMediaCoalition.org, in line with the Church, online with the world. CatholicUnderground.com, the podcast about our Catholic faith and new media. And DFWCatholic.org, spreading the truth one city at a time.
Pro-abort Congressman cuts ethics deal. New York Congressman Charles Rangel has reportedly cut a deal to admit to ethical wrongdoing and avoid a potentially humiliating public trial. Rangel has been a pro-abort congressman since he first set foot on Capitol Hill close to 40 years ago. He reportedly will admit to a string of ethics violations, all involving money and influence trading, but will not be kicked out of the Congress that his pro-abortion party controls. Interestingly enough, in the run-up to the last midterm elections in 2006, Democrats played up Republican ethics violations and said they were a reason for people to not vote for Republicans. And lastly, put some clothes on. Tourists in skimpy summer clothing were being told to cover up before entering Vatican City today. The ban had previously applied only to St. Peter's Basilica itself, but guards manning the official entry point into the tiny walled state began pulling visitors aside overnight for sporting inappropriate attire. Immodest clothing has been specifically barred from St. Peter's for decades now, and Vatican officials are seemingly sick of visitors flouting the dress code. However, locals just nipping inside of Vatican City walls to use its pharmacy, post office, and store were particularly bewildered by the clothing crackdown. Most are accustomed to treating the Vatican like any other part of Rome, according to Roman news outlets. I'm Michael Voris. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure and tune in tomorrow for your daily dose of Catholic News Roundup right here on RealCatholicTV.com. And be sure and check out the Vortex today, where we talk about what Catholics should do in response to the scandal in the Church. That's it for now. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure and tell your friends about us. And as always, God bless you.